let's go back and talk about your story. First of all, I'd love to know what it was like to grow up in Germany and what the transition was like to move to North America.
So in Germany, I grew up in a big city in Hamburg, and it it was just normal life. I have three siblings, and until my early 20s, I was always healthy. So when I did go to the doctor, where you have to check the diseases that you have, I
Yeah.
could leave them all unchecked. I never had anything. And I was also very active. I did Taekwondo, and in sports, 1 year I actually did two courses at the same time because I could.
Wow.
I loved sports. I just loved the activity. And then that kind of changed when I got into my mid-20s. I got diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis, which now turns out was a misdiagnosis. It was inflammatory arthritis, but the symptoms are very similar, so that they missed it. The treatment was probably, or would have been, similar too, but I was put on stronger medications, on Imuran, and first on cortisone and a few others, but then on Imuran, and the Imuran was the one that really did my liver in, because they put me on the on this high dose. In the beginning, you have a very high dose, and then you taper down to a maintenance dose, and they forgot. So there we are, 15 years later.
Yeah,
I
minor
asked,
detail there.
Yeah, well, now that I lost my weight, can I taper down my dose? And they said, like, oops. And you never want to hear your doctor say oops. So yeah, but moving to Canada, the diagnosis wasn't established then. So I moved to Canada, and I was diagnosed here in Canada.
Hmm. Wow. So that's kind of when you first started noticing these problems. Did you have any side effects from the medications?
Well, from the cortisone, yes, I did gain a lot of weight. And from the Imuran, I think it was just not healthy for my body. I mean, it suppresses the immune system. And then at a dose, which is usually given to kidney transplant recipients. So it was that high of a dose, 15 years. Yeah. Yes, I did have side effects. I also would blame those medications on me, like being fatigued, being tired, and just not thriving as I should have.
Hmm. Wow. Well, the weight gain, I mean, that's easy. Just lose weight. It's just that simple, right?
Right. Move more, eat less, right? I hate that. And the thing was, it really puts all the blame on me. I'm eating. I won't say that I was the perfect patient. I did eat candy and junk and all that stuff, but mostly every time I tried to lose weight, I really stuck with the program, and then I just got hungry and hungrier. And then these voices like, if you deprive yourself, you're going to fall off the wagon. If you restrict yourself, you're going to develop an eating disorder. If you do this, and then, well, when I get hungry and hungrier, then those voices, or people saying things to me, they make more sense, right? So I thought, okay, so I lost 30 pounds now, so I'm going to treat myself with a carrot cake with that frosting that's really good. And once I ate that, that's when I fell off the wagon. I couldn't go back on, and so that's my sugar addiction. People often say sugar addiction isn't real. I know it is real.
Yeah. I totally agree. I don't know what you want to call whatever I have, if it qualifies exactly as sugar addiction or not, but I know that if I have some, I will have a lot. And I don't know how to stop myself. And so I have to kind of be an abstainer as well, which sucks. You and I were talking about it offline. I would love to have a piece of carrot cake. That sounds really good. I used to love carrot cake. Like, all of it sounds great. I know that if I have a little, I can't stop, and I will have more and more and more, to the point that like my brain just spins in anxiety. So yeah, have to avoid it. Now, I've got a client I've been working with for many years. He's overweight. He's looking to get a procedure done, looking to get a joint replaced. He's now had two separate doctors tell him that he needs to lose weight. And first of all, he's like, okay, like, thanks. That's like not the first time I've
Obvious.
had that thought. Oh, like, good to know. Thanks. Like, great. Like, I had no idea I need to lose weight. And secondly, he'll say like, okay, fine. How would you suggest that I lose weight? And it's the same thing. It's like, well, you need to exercise. Dude is exercising 5 days a week. He's playing golf every single day. And you need to watch what you eat. Like, you're kidding. That's what you need to do. Like, it's so frustrating. And he feels the exact same way, that these doctors are asking him these questions. He's to blame for all these problems, and they don't have good answers about how to even accomplish what they're telling him to do. It's super frustrating.
Doctors just don't know. And it's probably most evident when you look at doctors and you see that most of them are overweight too. And you would think, can't they follow the advice they're dishing out? And apparently they can't. It's because it's bad advice. It's not how it works. Losing weight is not about how much we eat. It's about what we eat and how often we eat.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. You look at people like Dr. Tro, Dr. Brian Lenskis, you look at people like Dr. Philip Ovadia, they all had to arrive at the same place where we all are in this low carbohydrate space, because they themselves were struggling with their weight and they didn't know what to do. Like Dr. Tro's wife telling him like, yo, you should lose weight. And him thinking like, I'm a doctor, I should know how to do this. And realizing like, wait a second, I really don't know how to do this for myself. How can I teach my patients how to do this as well? It's so frustrating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very
I
interesting.
find the same thing.
Yeah. So your health got worse. It got a lot worse, I would say, before you kind of hit rock bottom. Can you continue telling us about that journey and how your health continued to deteriorate?
So first was the rheumatoid arthritis diagnosis, which was inflammatory arthritis. Then, and I don't know exactly when that was, I was diagnosed with Hashimoto. That's an autoimmune disease. It's when the thyroid is attacked and it can't produce enough thyroid hormones anymore. Then I was put on statins, and I'm not sure whether it was first. Yeah, it was first the statins. Then I developed type 2 diabetes, and it progressed pretty quickly. So this is over the span of about 25 years. And then I was diagnosed with NASH, and that sounds horrible. It is. It is. It is non-alcoholic steatohepatitis, which means it's a fatty liver that's also inflamed. It's one step short of cirrhosis.
Wow.
So I was there like weighing over 300 pounds, full-blown type 2 diabetes, Hashimoto. I just wasn't feeling well. And you would think someone that obese has a lot of stored energy, and they have, but they can't access the energy.
That's right.
And
That's right.
so I was just unhappy. I was tired. And then I had this moment where I thought, if I continue like this, I'll have maybe 3 years tops.
Wow.
Because with all those conditions. And yeah, so the thing is, if you try over and over and over to follow advice that's just bad and it doesn't work, and then you are blamed, you lose hope. And that's what I did. I had lost hope.
Mm. Wow, so sad. I love the way you said that people that are overweight, they have lots of energy. It's just not accessible. And somebody you and I both really look up to, Dr. Jason Fung, he explains it really well. Like, you have your fridge on the main floor. What about that deep freezer you have in the basement? You might not go down there very frequently. You might forget it's down there. You might have an entire deer, or all kinds, like a quarter of a cow down there. But if it gets buried under a bunch of boxes and gets all dusty, like, you have the food. The food is in your house. It's there. But if it's not accessible, it might as well not be there. And so people that are overweight experience this phenomenon where they have the energy, but they keep packing more and more and more of this energy on, because they're not understanding, they're not told how insulin works in the body and how insulin resistant works.
Yes, exactly. And what really frustrates me about this is that the doctors, or most doctors, don't understand insulin resistance. They will not test for insulin resistance, or they will not test for hyperinsulinemia. So it's I have a lot of built up anger towards some of my doctors, not all of them, but yeah, if they would understand it better, most people would be better off. They could diagnose many diseases way before they develop. I mean, insulin resistance has so many symptoms. It's skin tags, it's the darkening of the skin, like early signs. The weight gain is an early sign. Those people should all be tested for insulin resistance. In women, then PCOS, that they can't have a hard time conceiving. Then, of course, the cardiovascular disease, the liver disease, the kidney disease, liver disease, I already said. Those are all symptoms with the same root cause.
That's right.
I don't see how people don't get it.